Hi, good morning. Welcome to our daily discussion on structural and grammatical accuracy in English writing. In this 14th session, you are going to identify and rectify an error very often committed while making a suggestion with the verb suggest. After spotting and rectifying the error, you are also going to see the different ways in which suggestions can be made in English. Take a look at this sentence. As she had a severe headache, I suggested her that she should go home at once and take complete rest. Note the use of the pronoun her, which is the indirect object of the verb suggested and which should be avoided. Remember, after the verb suggested followed by that clause, you don't use the pronoun, you don't use the indirect object. So omit that, then the sentence becomes correct. Read it now correctly. As she had a severe headache, I suggested that she should go home at once and take complete rest. Right? So after suggested, no pronoun should be used, no indirect object should be used. That is the correction you have to remember. Now let's see the different ways in which the suggestions can be made in English. A very common way of making a suggestion is by starting the sentence with let us. Let's go to the beach this weekend. You are making a suggestion. Let's make a movie with this theme. Let's print just 500 copies for now. Let's arrange a music concert in the evening. Let's speak to the management about our pay rise. So this is a very common way of making a suggestion using the verb let at the beginning. Apart from this method, you can also make suggestions in the form of questions with question words. Question words like what about, how about, why don't you, why can't you, and so on. Look at these examples. You are making suggestions with the in question form. What about a cup of tea, you can say, or what about having a cup of tea? But what you have to note is when you use a verb after what about, it should be with the ing form. Okay? It should have an ing form. What about having a cup of tea, not what about have a cup of tea. Or you can omit the verb having. You can simply use the phrase a cup of tea after what about. What about a cup of tea is quite correct. That's quite colloquial, conversation also. How about taking our lunch at A to B? Or you can ask, how about our lunch at A to B? Next one. How about starting a readers forum? Why don't you mail a soft copy to me? Next, the other questions are used with the modals could and shall. Could we stay the night here and leave for home tomorrow? You can also use the negative verb couldn't. Couldn't we stay the night here and leave for home tomorrow? So you're making a strong suggestion in the form of a question. Couldn't we stay the night here and leave for home tomorrow? So the other way of asking a question is, shall we order the meal from a hotel? Shall we order the meal from a hotel? So shall we, it not only makes a suggestion, it also expects the listener's opinion. So the following are examples of questions expressing suggestion, but they ask for suggestions, not make. They don't make suggestions. Look at the examples. Questions with question words followed by shall we or okay shall I. They express suggestions, but they ask for suggestions. Who shall we invite as the chief guest? So it is asking for suggestion, not making a suggestion. So the listener's reply is expected. Which color shall we select? Where shall we go for the vacation? When shall we have the webinar? How shall we raise the funds for this? So these are the ways in which you can ask for opinions or suggestions using shall we. The other way is to use the suggest followed by a that clause. Already we have seen this in one of our sessions. So here are three examples of the use of suggest and a that clause to make a suggestion. The point you have to note here is you can use the conjunction that in the that clause and also the modal should in that clause, or you can omit them also. So the use of the conjunction that and the use of the modal should are optional in this pattern. Let's see the two ways of expressing the suggestion. I suggest that we should arrange a meeting with the students. Or I suggest we arrange a meeting with the students. Similarly, I suggest that we should recruit a few more workers temporarily. Or I suggest we recruit a few more workers temporarily. The third one, I suggest that total curfew at the red zones with intense infection should be extended. Or I suggest that total curfew at the red zones with intense infection be extended. You might have noted that I have used the conjunction that after I suggest. It is necessary because that subject is a very long phrase. The total curfew at the red zones with intensity. It's a long phrase. You're having many words. In such a context, it's better to use the conjunction that. Okay. So I repeat that sentence. I suggest that total curfew at the red zones with intense infection be extended. The verb suggest can also be used in the past tense, but when you use the verb suggested to make a suggestion with that clause, then that modal should has to be retained. That's what you have to note in this pattern. When you use the past tense of the verb suggest, that is the form suggested, that clause should have the modal should. It is not to be omitted. Remember that point. Now let's see the examples. They suggested that we should install CCTV cameras on all the streets. She suggested that the government should set up a special cell to probe the crime. We suggested that the warden should check the quality of the food at the hostel regularly. So in all these sentences, the modal should has been retained. You have to retain it because the verb is in the past tense. So these are the different ways in which suggestions can be made. So I think it's time for you to use these structures when you make suggestions and make the suggestions correctly and clearly to the reader. Okay. Thank you. We will see the next sentence tomorrow. Bye.